Hello and welcome. I'm Trish Rock, and this is some inspiration for you for this week. It's the first week in January. How are you feeling so far? I kind of feel like, there was such a big build up to it that this weekend that we're currently in is kind of that lull after all of that energy. Sitting back, being quiet, planning, asking yourself, what is it that you want moving forward? And after such a tumultuous year, we really are asking it the question now, what do we want? Because we've gotten rid of so much that we don't want. And as you ask yourself this, as you go into this first week in January, keep in your heart and in your mind that very thing. What is it that I want? What is it that I want my reality to look like? What do I want to experience? How do I want to feel? And how can I create a reality around me that feels safe and secure and joyful and on purpose, no matter what's going on in the bigger reality? Because, there is a collective reality which we're all buying into to certain degrees. But there's a greater understanding now of our own reality and what it is in those moments when you are there just with you. How do you want to feel? And if you can create that life and that structure and that reality around you that feels safe for you, that also feels like freedom for you, then if you can build that into a beautiful, secure structure, then it won't really matter what's going on around you in the external. And 2021 isn't going to all of a sudden be back to the old, right? Let's get back to normal. It's not going to happen. We have to create our normal going forward, and that begins within. Shining your light is really going to be the essence of it all this year for you, no matter what's going on externally. Because if you're really focusing in on what's happening externally and basing your decisions on the control of much of that, then you really are not in control of you. You've put your power into the hands of someone else. And by doing that, there's going to be more focus on the fear of finding the light amongst all of that shadow. Whereas if you can really understand that the whole world is still shifting and changing and restructuring, and it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take another couple of years. So it's not going to be smooth sailing this year. However, if you can create an environment within you and around you that is what you want to see in the world going forward, then you become the light. And by becoming the light, you're not fearing the dark. And that is a really powerful position to be in. When you're making decisions for yourself and your family and your life, you want to come from light, not from fear. And I see so many people making decisions from fear-based information and also fear-based worry that's going on in their mind. And those decisions always are taking your power away and giving it to someone else. They're disempowering you, and you may not feel it at the time. So, moving forward this year and really even just this week, what is it that you can begin to plan for this year, even if it's just a vision, or imagine, what it would be like to live a life that felt safe, secure, abundant, prosperous, on purpose, joyful, happy, loving, peaceful, in alignment. What would that look like for you personally, on your inner level, on your outer level? And what would that look like then for all of those people around you, your family, your close friends, everything else? And how would that light then radiate out to other people and allow them to feel safe in exploring their own alignment, to allow them to feel like they've got permission to shine their light too? That would be a fantastic use of time this week. What would that vision be? How would you feel in that experience? What would it look like? What would you be doing? What would you be thinking? What would you be saying? This is how you create a different reality. And we are all in our own little world. We all have an individual, unique world. And we are all part of the collective world. So we can play a part in the collective world through our word, through our actions, through our being. And that starts in here. There's a lot of work to do this year. There's going to be a lot of faith that is required, and a lot of trust and action to create a reality and a life that can bear the brunt of any changes from the external, so that we're not driven into fear and we're not driven by fear. So this week, have a little think about that. Many of you probably already have. And go into this month and into this year with a plan to be the light in your own world first, right? And shining that outwards. And some of you might be saying, well, I don't influence anyone, or my actions don't affect anyone. They really do. Even if you are, off the grid on all social medias and just living a quiet life with you, partner, family, what you do and how you feel matters. It really does. You shining your light matters. You being in alignment with the truth of you matters. Because collectively, each individual plays a part. And on a physical level, you may not feel like you're contributing to the whole, but on an energetic level, you certainly are in every moment. And it's just a beautiful time now to think about all of those things that came to pass last year in 2020 that you understood now that you don't want in your life, you don't want to do, you don't want to feel, you don't want to experience. Think about those things and find the alternative. Find those things that you do want to have, be, do, feel, experience. Find those things. And then have that as your main intention this year, and everything really will follow from there. But you being in your truth and in true alignment of that within and without, really is an important step this year. It will carry you through with less fear, more safety and security, and more resilience to get back up and dust yourself off if something does, push you over during the year. And that's important. That's going to be important this year. So, do some writing, hop in your journal, do some meditating, do some visioning. What is it that would bring you that feeling of safety, security, alignment, resilience, and put you in a energy of light rather than fear? What would that look like for you personally on the inside, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions? And then how would that radiate outward to help your immediate reality, and then your community, and then the wider community, and ultimately global? Every little thing that we do matters, and every shift in alignment and vibration that we have as individuals matters, and you matter in the big scheme of things, and you matter in your world as well. Have a good week. I'll see you next